This is my persuasive speech about compensating a student athlete for essentially playing out of school. When recruiting college athletes, scholarships, pride, honor, commitment, tradition, and a very huge feel from a college coach are very useful tools in getting the best players in the country to come and play at a particular school. After the recruiting process and some credibility is established by the student athlete, the schools probably start selling their jersey. And then, if the school is relatively good, like Alabama in football, the NCAA will try to make TV negotiations between the school and certain networks. Multi-billion dollars paid to the NCAA, particular conference, even more particular the school, from TV vendors is money that the school will make off any one athlete or team. The NCAA, the schools have realized that after recruiting the best players, those players are leaving to go professional to pay for their talents. Schools and the NCAA need to get together to start negotiating aspects of paying college athletes. Student athletes have been in college early. They're paid professionally for their talents, no matter what the sport is. How might you ask? Can a school pay for each player from every single team, both men's and women's? Football team has 50 plus players. Never get paid. How does this happen? Well, why not start with base salary? No matter what the sport, no matter what the position, and then just based off of performances alone. And particular athletes' jersey sales, increase it by a percentage. Skeptics tend to say that paying a college athlete, that there's not enough money to cover jersey to an athlete. Others say that the multi-billion-dollar contracts that the NCAA has with schools and conferences, television stations, is more than enough to cover the cost of a student. After all, billions of dollars are spent by vendors at certain college events just to advertise. I think the going rate for commercial for the NCAA men's basketball tournament championship was upwards of $10 million for 30 seconds. And that doesn't even include as to how much television stations pay the NCAA to televise major events. Naysayers for paying college student athletes false parts of the sport event, but the athlete is getting paid in the form of scholarship, tuition, room, board, books. Well, that's true. Their education is free. It's paid for. What about the walk-ons? What about the ones that are partial scholarships? student athletes have to pay for their education. Not to mention there's only a limited number of scholarships that each school is allowed to receive. Scholarships are renewable from year to year. So if a student is underperforming, injured, coach can essentially like to drop that student, whether it be the beginning of the year or the end of the year. So loss of a scholarship to a student or walk-on student don't really have anything paid for when playing their sport. Instead, they are paying to play the game that they love. The next thing is that skeptics, critics, and people against paying student athletes will say that the primary focus is the education, not to play sports. If this is the case, then why are we giving out scholarships for athletics? Come on. It's a competitive world in America, and we're always striving to be the best, whether it's team or individual. The only way for this to occur is to pay the student athlete. After all, they're the ones being recruited to play at a particular school because of the skills that they have. Granted, not so exceptional student athletes can take harder courses, have tutors, and will probably more than likely go on to be professional in something other than the sport that they are playing. The exceptional student athlete, on the other hand, does have a chance to go professional, and more than likely will leave early from the school to go play their respective professional sport. Basketball comes to mind. There's only 10 scholarships on average for every NCAA Division I school. However, the NBA has stated that a person wanting to play professional basketball has to play a minimum of 1 year college ball. There are loopholes around that. Fresh out of high school, 18-year-olds can go play in the European leagues for significantly less amount of money than if they were to in the NBA. Baseball has the minor leagues. You don't have to play college ball in order to play minor league baseball. Football, probably the most popular sport in America. Players aren't allowed to declare eligible for the NFL until after their junior year of college. No matter what the sport, all the exceptional athlete wants to do is outperform his peers competitively and be compensated properly for it. Another reason why critics and people don't want to pay players is because the average student doesn't get paid to go to school. So why should the athlete? Well, my reply to them is this. Full-time, regular students have time outside of school to go out and get a part-time or full-time job. The student athlete does not have that luxury. The student athlete is putting in time in the gym, the weight room, film room, going over certain plays, going over drills, going over practices, doing all this extra stuff just so they can be better the next game. So where in the world would they have the time to do this to fill out an application for a job? Um, some student athletes have been reported as going in to the gym as early as 3 o'clock in the morning and not getting done with all their school stuff until 11 o'clock at night. 4 hours. I think they're supposed to stick to that time frame. As I stated before, the student is there for a higher level of education. But if this is the case, then prevent your student from getting a job or whatever secondary source that they have for getting money. Make it an even playing field, so to speak, for the student and the student athlete. And the final point that I would like to make on this lesson this year is that schools and athletes alike will get fined, or even worse, become ineligible for certain things if the athlete or athletes are found taking money, selling things, in the case of Ohio State, getting bought out by boosters. Reggie Bush comes to mind, having to give back the Heisman. But the only way that this can happen is if somebody really blows the whistle on it. In the illegal activity that goes on with it. The surprising thing is that most coaches are for paying their players for the time and effort that student athletes work on their game to become better. Paying the athlete would also prevent the illegal scandals that go on from athletes just trying to get a little bit of extra money so they can take their girl out on a date or buying gifts for their kids at Christmas time or birthdays, any of that stuff. The NCAA oversees all this transactions of the student athlete, but nobody oversees the NCAA. So to the critics, hypocrites, skeptics, naysayers, everyone else that's against paying the college athlete, yes, you do have very legitimate arguments against paying them, but they really aren't good enough reasons. After all, future sales from the school from one player can range in the millions and be enough to put a little money in the athlete's pocket. Athletes see this as well. They see their jerseys hanging up in the student union, sports shop down the road, and even on the internet, eBay. They see it being bought and sold all the time for 50, 60, 70, 80 bucks. The athlete wants part of that money, which they are entitled to, I believe. The only people making a buck off of that stuff is the school, the conference, and NCAA. And they're making millions, maybe even billions off of that. Not to mention the billions in advertisements during major college athletic sporting events. The multi-billion-dollar contract the NCAA signed with CBS to air the 2013 Men's National Basketball Tournament. It's known as March Madness. March Madness all in itself sees billions of dollars from office pools around the world staking claim to whose bracket is best. It is essential in order for any college to recruit any player that they want to compensate them properly. That is in the form of cold hard cash. Obviously, you're going to have a salary cap on it. But Maybe if we sign a petition, we can get the NCAA to look at their laws and change them a little bit. Thanks.